Ever feel like your to-do list is never ending and never really complete? You're not alone, and today I'm revealing a life-changing secret. We're all bombarded with information from the moment we wake up. Social media, work, family pressures. It's overwhelming. But there's also something lurking behind the scenes that is adding to the mental clutter and killing your joy and productivity that I bet you haven't even heard of. There's a hidden offender adding to your mental clutter and stealing your joy, the silent to-do list. Coined by Fumio Sasaki in Goodbye Things. This concept could be the key to understanding why your list keeps growing without you even realizing it. Plus, I'm going to show you in this video how to cope with the silent to-do list to feel less stressed and more productive. As a neuropsychologist who helps folks intentionally get more done, this concept has been life-changing because it's helped me highlight to myself and to my clients that we aren't broken. Constant to-do lists that you can never complete are not your fault, and there's nothing wrong with you. And on the contrary, learning about this idea of the silent to-do list can help you live a clearer, more intentional life that you are more than worthy of and certainly deserve. To start, let me show you what a silent to-do list is and how it just may be the root of all your overwhelm, overstimulation, and mental overload. Have you ever heard a beeping noise in your house, but you couldn't figure out where it's coming from, and it drives you completely insane until you figure out what it is? And it's only when you discover what it is, that it's the batteries from your smoke alarm in your basement, do you find peace again because now you can deal with it. That's what it's like to have a silent to-do list. Every single item in your house and even your digital items are sending you unspoken messages, adding to your to-do list, and many times covertly adding to your stress levels. And until you find a way to make the unspoken spoken, you won't be able to deal with it. For example, as I walk through my home to my office, plants are saying, water me. The mail is saying, pay me. The dishes are saying, wash me. The toys are saying, put me away. And when I finally make it to my desk and sit down to work, the emails are saying, read me. The post-its are saying, remember me. And the desk drawer is saying, organize me. And all these little unspoken messages slowly erode our focus and our productivity, and the mental noise of it all can make you feel anxious, especially if you're a working mom. You may even wonder, why does this silent to-do list seem to bother me than it does my partner? Well, I want you to think of it this way. You're not only the queen of your castle, you're the boss of your career, and most things screaming at you on that silent to-do list at work and at home are falling on your shoulders. Who picks up the toys that the kids left on the stairs? Who renews that trademark for your business when you get that letter in the mail? Who organizes your pantry when it gets back chaotic after you organized it? Who's going to execute that brilliant business idea that you got when you were in the shower? It's you. It all falls on you. I bet it's you, mama, because the silent to-do list stress is real. The millennial mom here on YouTube described it brilliantly. She said, this is why you feel at peace when you go to a hotel or a vacation house, because the stuff there is not sending you hidden messages, unspoken messages. It's not telling you to do things. And for my working mamas, I would add this. This is why when you work in a coffee shop or a co-working space, you may feel a little bit lighter because there's nothing there sending you those unspoken messages. But here's the thing, knowing this is only half the battle. Next, I'm going to show you how to cope with the silent to-do list to get back your peace and to get more productive and efficient in the process. So me and my brother are 9 years apart, and growing up, because I was so much older, I was able to be the helpful big sister in taking care of my little brother. And when my little brother was a toddler, he would mumble a lot, and sometimes no one could understand his little baby talk besides me. So one of my little jobs as a big sister became being his translator, and my parents had this little system of whenever they couldn't understand my brother, they would call for me and say, Tiff, come here and tell me what this boy is saying. Well, just like my parents, you need a system to help you translate your silent to-do list into meaningful and organized information. But how do you create such a system? Well, let me show you my COPE, C-O-P-E method to help you quite literally cope with all the mental clutter. So my COPE method comes from putting the two systems of Getting Things Done by David Allen and Building a Second Brain by Tia Orgo Forte together and coming up with my own method that I think works for women, working moms, and it's COPE. So, and the first step is capture, which comes from getting things done. So you're gonna capture everything, basically coming up with a running to-do list. So when you see that piece of mail that says renewed trademark, or when you get the call from your dentist that your kid needs another happy visit, you're gonna put everything into your running to-do list. Mine is in my task system in my Notion second brain. So I just pull up my phone and I capture it there. That way you're not having to keep everything in your head. But what I have learned after about a year or two of implementing this system is that you want to capture everything, but you want to distill it down so that way when you go to process that information, it's not overwhelming. So here's some tips from Tiago Forte on how to distill information when you're capturing, whether it is a task or it's a creative idea that you want to keep for later. First, he says to find the golden nuggets of what it is that you are capturing. Instead of saving everything, extract the most valuable insights from your notes, your articles, your books, your meetings, or summaries that you're trying to capture. 2 is layered summarization. So you're going to use progressive summarization where you highlight the most important parts of your notes and stages, bold key points, highlight essential sentences, and rewrite core ideas so you're not feeling like you have to just dump a whole bunch of information into your system. 3 is keep it actionable. So your distilled notes and to-dos should be clear, concise, and easy to use and help you quickly recall insights and actions when you need to. So for example, when I was launching, I wasn't doing this in my last time that I launched a product, and my to-do list from that project was just a bunch of things that I was just dropping. And then when I went to go process my to-dos each week in my weekly review, it was a little bit overwhelming. And that's when I really had to revisit distilling, summarizing, keeping things as neat as possible, and capturing for actionability. And once I started doing that again, it made my weekly review that much easier. Another thing that you can keep in mind in your capturing is to eliminate, delegate, and use the 2-minute rules. Like if you're thinking, oh, I gotta capture this, just take a couple seconds of, can I eliminate this? Can I quickly delegate this to someone else so it doesn't have to go on my list, so your running to-do list doesn't get too chaotic? And then also that 2-minute rule, if you can do it in 2 minutes or less, unless it's gonna completely throw you off track, better to just do it then. The next step that I'm gonna take you through is the O in my COPE method, which is for organize. So once you've captured things, you want to organize that information. This is usually done in your weekly review, but let me show you how the process goes. So you are going to first think about, is this information actionable? If it is, can it be done in one step? If it is an action that can be done one step, you're going to add it to your task, because that's just when you're capturing things in the moment. If it is something that is more than one steps, it's going to be added to your project list. So in my Notion second brain, you have your tasks, projects, a life areas, resources, and archives. So if it was a project, I can quickly add that in my quick capture on my homepage of my Notion second brain, which is my home base in my Notion. And then within that project, you can add tasks for that project so they're grouped together and organized, and those will automatically sync to your running to-do list. But however you're capturing it, be sure you're separating your tasks and projects. That's just going to make your life easier. If it isn't something actionable, you are going to capture it. If it's not relevant, you're just going to archive it. If it is relevant, you're going to distill it. So you think about those distill tips that I just gave you and add it to your resources. If it is something that's not personal, you will add it to your life areas. So if it's something that is an idea or article that you have personalized with notes for yourself, you might add that to like your social media life area. You have a note from your doctor about your health information that's not actionable but is relevant, you might add that to your personal health folder in your areas of improvement or your life areas, I like to call them actually. So that's how you're going to organize this information. You're going to organize it for actionability using the PARA method. So task, projects, life areas, resources, and archive. Then once you have everything organized, the next step in my COPE method is to prioritize. So this is where you're going to do your weekly review. I do have a weekly review dedicated video that I will link below in case that's something you want a little bit help with to do your own weekly review. I also have a free getting things done. This is the exact checklist I use every single week Notion template. When you download this, you can get it in the PDF checklist, or if you're a Notion user, it comes in Notion as well that you can reset the checks each week, which I like. I will put that in the description below, totally free if you want to download that, and you can just go through that each week. You're going to prioritize, okay, what needs to be getting done this week that I need to add to my weekly plan, and then you're going going to schedule out the rest, or maybe get rid of, or use the 2-minute rule for some of the tasks that you captured that you can just do right then and there during your weekly review. Then the E is for engage. You're going to engage with your system. That's actually by doing what you planned. But first you want to outsource and delegate. So anything that you have captured or that you're trying to add to your life, think about, can I outsource it? So for instance, I use Poplin for our laundry each week. We have cleaners that come in once a month. Are there things that you've added that you can maybe outsource or delegate to like a family member or something like that? And then actually what you have organized or prioritized to do this week, you want to actually do those things that you plan to do this week. You want to have routines to make things easier so you don't have to keep capturing things that are recurring in your life. Things like zone decluttering, your cleaning routines, all your weekly non-negotiables, meal planning, things like that, meal prep. I put those in my digital calendar as recurring events so I don't have to continuously remember them. And then you also want to have the mantra when it comes to engaging with your system. Have the mantra of, I see you, I have a plan for you. This is something that I learned Fly Lady Cat. So you have this capture system, but you're also going to have your routines. Like for instance, with zone cleaning, you're still going to see those silent to-dos as you walk around your house. But if you have a plan for them, let's say that you get to each part of your house at least once a month in your zone decluttering, zone cleaning, to kind of mitigate that stress, just say to yourself, let's see a closet that you want to get organized, but you know it's going to be in a couple weeks. I see you, I have a plan for you, I will get to you. So you're acknowledging that unspoken message, and just the acceptance kind of decreases that anxiety. I am also going to be sharing my entire home management system, how I manage my home as a working person, working woman, particularly in my upcoming workshop, Spring Clean Your Life. I will also be giving away my new Notion template, which is going to be a home management Notion template for free. If you sign up for the workshop, it will become a product thereafter. So if you want to get it for free, be sure that you sign up. I will put a link for that in the description, but I did want to give you a little heads up that that's coming soon if you need help managing all of this as a working woman. Don't let the stress of a chaotic to-do list make you feel like something is wrong with you. You are worthy of living your best life no matter how productive you are. And you now know how to cope with the stress of your silent to-do list, feel more in control. But if you don't maintain the system, it's actually all gonna fall apart. So I want you to watch this next video where I'll show you how to do my weekly review to make sure you don't fall off track. Cheers to planning, manifesting, and enjoying your dream life. Namaste.